Hi, this tutorial shows a means by which you can get estimates for pollutant concentrations of nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter for any location across London. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, we've actually chosen a site that's on the very boundary of London. It's located at this location, so even just outside the remits of the M25, but it does have data for this site. So this location's X and Y coordinates can be seen or discovered on this useful website called gridreferencefinder.com, and they can be shown here. Other useful data include getting the postcode. The first way of getting an estimate for pollution concentrations at this site is going to be through an interactive map. However, it should be noted that this site has out-of-date data. So this map from Parallel, you can see the URL here, shows a map of London and has the interactive data for nitrogen dioxide. And if you put in the postcode here, it will automatically take you to this new area where you can get an estimate for pollution concentrations. So we were just here, and then we can see that roughly concentrations were below the 40 microgram annual mean air quality standard for nitrogen dioxide at this location. However, it's not immediately clear what the exact concentration is, so you might be required to delve a little bit deeper. And this is where we'll use data directly from the London Atmospheric Emissions Inventory. So the London Atmospheric Emissions Inventory is a resource which provides predictions for NOx, PM10, PM2.5 and carbon dioxide across the entirety of Greater London at 20 by 20 metre resolution. So it's an incredibly rich data set. The data for all sites across London can be downloaded here. I advise that you download the Excel spreadsheet unless you're particularly up to speed with GIS software such as ArcGIS. So make sure you download this file and put it somewhere on your computer. When you have it downloaded, you will have downloaded and unpacked it or unzipped it. You have a series of Excel spreadsheets, the ones highlighted here. They are really large spreadsheets which you might not be able to open on your computer without chopping bits of data off. So what I advise you do in this case is you can either open them in a scripting language, for example like R or Python, or if you're less experienced, there are software tools online which you can upload the data set and it will split it into different CSVs which you can open on your computer. Once opened, it'll look something like this. And if we go back to our grid reference, we are trying to find the pollution concentrations at this specific location. Funnily enough, this specific location is the first line of this data set. So what we can then do is get an estimate that concentrations of nitrogen dioxide at this site using the up-to-date 2019 data were 23.5 micrograms per meter cubed. And then what we can then do is compare these numbers to either the national air quality standards or the WHO guidelines to get an assessment of the risk of the site in terms of what filtration may be required and what sort of methodology will be required to show that the site has an appropriate level of ventilation.